Mick and Sam, taking you to Jungle Land. Bengals pride, it fills the air. Every week we're always there. Touchdowns, tackles, all the plays. Bengals roaring every way. Stories, news, and game recaps. Jungle Juice, we bridge those gaps. Welcome to the Jungle Juice. Mick and Sam, let's break it loose. Cincinnati, hear our call. Bengals fans, unite us all.
Welcome back to the Jungle Juice podcast. I'm Sam. He's Mick. Mick, we're back after a respite last week. How you doing?
Yeah. Oh no, doing good. Is your audio coming through? Okay, it sounds good. It sounds fine now. You came through a little weird there.
You just came through weird a little bit too. What a great way for us to start. Yeah, we're here. I think it might be on your end. I think you sound fine on my end.
Shit, we might as well just take another week off.
Oh, what are we doing here?
Take another week off?
No, let's hope not. Can you not hear me at all? We were just working fine a second ago.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you fine now.
Okay, we're good. We're making it work. What a great way to start the show today. We're good. We're golden.
We're good.
You were on a trip last week.
We did it. Yeah, we're back. Oh, it went really well. We went to the Northern California area. So San Fran, Santa Cruz, Monterey, Big Sur. It was beautiful. It was warm. I came back to 26-degree weather and snow on the ground. So kind of missing that a little bit right now. But we're back. We're back. Ready to go. Ready to talk some Bengals football here.
Yeah, it was weird. I know for me, like today, we talk about this, I think, from time to time on the show, is like the signs that, we're not that old, but yet we're getting up there. I clearly like slept weird, Mick. So now like the back of my neck has just been killing me all day. So it's like the sign that like I'm officially getting old and so on, is that, oh wait, now I'm sleeping weird and now I'm in pain for the rest of the day. So it's great. I've been popping ibuprofen. I've been battling a cold, so we're playing a little bit hurt, but we're going to make it through because that's what the people want, right? They missed us last week. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Well,
we're going to make it. We're going to make it through. Coming up on the show today, we're just going to talk a little Bengals Bears since it was a week and a half ago. We're not maybe 5 minutes on it, Mick. I don't think we need to.
I don't even really want to spend that much time on it. It's been 2 weeks.
Just like a little bit like, oh yeah, it happened. We'll talk a little bit about that. Logan Wilson, we'll talk about the trade. Joe Burrow, that's obviously the big news. Back to practice. We're going to kind of discuss what we think could come from that. And then we'll talk a little Bengals Steelers this week. But we invite you to follow us on our social media channels. We're Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're also on your favorite podcasting platform. Make sure you follow us that way. Give us a 5-star rating so more people can find our show that way. But yeah, just a little bit on the Bengals-Bears game. I think it's pretty much the story that we've told a lot over these last couple of seasons. The offense did its job. The defense did not. And because of that, the Bengals lost the game.
Yeah. Need we say more?
I feel like we just want to record this little segment here and we can all like in next week or so, just put in new teams each week and just be like, offense looked great, but the insert team here, offense was better, or something. Cause it just feels like that's what it was for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to talk. Obviously we're not going to talk too much about the game. It's been 2 weeks, but, this was a historically bad defensive performance against the Bears. I did not go back and look how far, if they've graded any worse as a collective whole in the PFF team grades. But it was a whopping 30.2 defensive grade. I don't think we'll ever find a grade that low in the entire history of the database of PFF here.
You might not be able to find one that bad in any team. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You probably could find maybe one performance or something that might have been worse, but I don't think you could. I don't think we've ever seen a Bengals
The
performance
the
as bad.
line that you just said, we might be able to find one that was worse. Just
Yeah,
says a lot about how bad it was.
yeah, yeah. I know it really does. It was, again, just a bunch of missed tackling in the game. Um, the pass rush again wasn't getting home for a second straight week without Trey Hendrickson. Shocker there. Um, they allowed, yeah, people will give credit to, pass rushers like Joseph Osai or, BJ Hill at points. Miles Murphy had a couple of pressures on the edge, but that didn't stop Caleb Williams from just rolling outside of the pocket and you're not playing contain. And I think that's where Caleb Williams had most of his damage is where, oh yeah, you got the initial pressure on the edge. Great job. You got to finish the job. You got to stay disciplined on the outside, or else Caleb Williams is athletic enough to just get on the outside of the pocket and do what, and just do whatever he can do. Like, it's just it, we're beating a dead horse here. This defense sucks. It's really bad.
I don't think either of us thought it was going to be this bad. Like, I don't think either of us really, if like you put truth serum to us, thought it would be.
Well, we also didn't think the personnel on the field would be the personnel on the field right now, at least with one of the positions, which we'll touch on the Logan Wilson trade here in a second. I don't think I don't think either of us foresaw the Bengals benching Logan Wilson, who hasn't played great this year, but hasn't played nearly as bad as Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight. To be benched in favor of Barrett Carter and then eventually traded to the Dallas Cowboys. Like, who knows? Is he how much of a difference maker he could have been on this defense just with the experience that he has on the field and in the high floor level of play that he has. It may not be a high ceiling for Logan Wilson, but the floor was certainly higher.
That could lead us right into here. We'll just go ahead and swoop into the discussion of last week. The Bengals before the trade deadline trade Logan Wilson to the Dallas Cowboys. They get a 7th round pick. So pretty much now, I guess you could theoretically say in some instances that they kind of traded Joe Flacco for Logan Wilson. Because they're getting a 7th round pick back for that. In the 7th rounder that they sent to the, or I guess they traded a stick. I don't remember what it was, but still,
they gave away a 5th, acquired a 6th. So the pick swap in the Joe Flacco trade, and then they acquired an additional 7th for the Logan Wilson's trade, which kind of surprises me. I thought they would have had a higher compensatory pick for Logan Wilson if they just let him walk in free agency.
Well, he's still 2 years away from that, I think. So I think he's still got at least 2 more years in that. So that's part of the reason.
Value money factors. You get your pick now as opposed to getting your pick later. I get that.
With the trade deadline as well, it sounded like, obviously the big question was, and I don't think we really expected it to happen, was would Trey Hendrickson get traded? And apparently, that there were some reports out there that said that the Bengals, the highest offer that they got was a 4th round pick. And, that's kind of like your point of time value and so on is a 4th round pick in 2026 more important to the Bengals than a 3rd round pick in 2027?
No, it's not. And honestly, those reports they sound pretty valid to me. Trey's injury really gave opposing teams, other teams, a lot of leverage and potential trade negotiations because they don't know, what his long-term health is gonna be for the remainder of the season, or if they want to, the team that trades for him wants to extend him beyond this year. It really tanked Trey's trade value. So a lot of us were expecting a decent trade to come out of that. I don't blame the front office for not wanting to pull that trade off, especially if it was for a 4th round pick. Doesn't seem like the Bengals hit on 4th round picks very often, especially in the Zach Taylor era.
Also, you have to think is what team is probably going to be trading for him is probably a team that is picking in the back end of the 4th round.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
looking
It's
at
the team
a
that's
late.
buying. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're probably saying a compensatory pick in the third round, which is presuming what you'd probably get for Trey Hendrickson, in 27. You're looking at maybe a 30 to 35 pick difference between those two, give or take
Yeah,
in that.
that's
Maybe
a whole
not by
round
much.
worth of difference there.
And that's a big difference. Now that could mean, the Bengals not like they've drafted very well with compensatory picks in the third round. Shout out to McKinley Jackson.
Jermaine Burton, was he a compensatory? He was
No,
not a compensatory.
Jermaine was
the
regular third, and McKinley was the compensatory pick that round. But I think this was one that the Bengals made the right decision on. But for Logan Wilson, it's just wild how fast this kind of happened. But I mean, overall, like you got to think for a third round pick, the Bengals hadn't hit on a mid round linebacker in a while.
Yeah,
and they did with Logan Wilson.
They did. Just a little in memoriam segment. We got any in memoriam music? Got like a sad piano.
He's not dead.
Kind of. He's dead to the Bengals.
Let's see here. I've got okay, so I'll just tell you.
He also has to go play for the Cowboys.
There is acoustic cinematic is what this is. No,
that's like Zen.
No, that's too like this is called Feeding the Ducks.
Basic.
No, this is called Dance Pop. No. It seems like a little.
None of the descriptions you mentioned sound like
this is
in memoriam
lo-fi.
sad.
What about night driving? Okay, this one works. Okay,
kind of sad, not like funeral music, which we wanted some funeral music, I think. But Logan Wilson. Yeah, okay, this sounds a little sad now. A little sad, a little lo-fi.
This is night driving.
Interesting. I feel like I make you fall asleep while you're driving at the wheel. What are your parting thoughts for Logan Wilson?
I mean, he did have one of the best moments in Bengals playoff history.
He did.
The interception against the Titans. Then he had a bogus call against him in the Super Bowl. And those are the two things that will always come to mind. But my biggest Logan Wilson takeaway is my jersey curse continues. My jersey curse continues. It's the reason why I can never bring myself to buy a Joe Burrow jersey. Until he retires, I will not. I was looking back and trying to think, Rudy Johnson, Carson Palmer, Carlos Dunlap, Cal Adomitis, Logan Wilson, and there's one or two others in there that I have bought jerseys for, and then they have left or something drastic has happened for them. So I cannot bring myself to buy a Joe Burrow jersey. I have the Chase jerseys, but they're knockoffs. So I'm wondering if that,
there's some DH-gate jerseys.
Exactly. To where it does that. But yeah, I mean, I'll miss Logan Wilson. It seems like he was a really good guy off the field too.
Yeah, no, he was a great leader in the locker room. I think he was really the captain of the defense. I think the defense has been missing his leadership over the course of the past few weeks. Even though he's been on the team, he hasn't been as active on the team recently due to being snubbed by the current coaching staff. I think he's probably due for a nice little bounce back over in Dallas, and hope the best for him, man. Gonna miss the guy. I liked him a lot. Led all linebackers in interceptions for a certain period of time with the Bengals. He hasn't had any the past couple of years, so I don't know if anybody's caught up to him. But
yeah, he's a guy though that we'll definitely miss, and I can't say that I'll be cheering for him in Dallas. I don't know that I can necessarily say I'm cheering for the Cowboys because of him. I don't know that he's quite that level of favorite player, but I always did like the Cowboy, Logan Wilson. I'm not sure I'd ever.
It's a very fitting place for him to go.
Yes, he'll probably fit right in there.
Jerry's gonna love him.
Oh yeah, without question. The biggest news though of the last, I guess it's been 48 hours. Maybe even a little. I think this happened. Was this yesterday or Monday? I don't even remember when it did.
Yesterday.
It was I don't even remember when it came out. That I was sitting here at my desk, and I have on my phone. I have like every single time the Bengals tweet, I get like a notification that says, "Hey, this is what's happening." So I looked down at like and again, I'm talking in Central Time, at like 11:30. And it said, "Oh, the Bengals have they brought the practice squad linebacker that they made into the active roster is now on the active roster." And I honestly didn't even mention his name. So I was like, "Oh, okay." And then like 30 minutes later, another roster alert, and I just see it down on my watch. It'll say on here, and I'll just see a bubble that says roster alert or something. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of weird. Why didn't they just loop those in together?" So I was like, "Okay, I'll just check my phone." And I look up, and it says Joe Burrow is expected to return to practice on a limited basis today. And immediately I was like, what? I was like, I didn't know this was coming. What was your first reaction when you heard that Joe Burrow was coming back?
I kind of expected it a little bit. I know it's a little early, but it seems like he's been progressing pretty well through rehab on the turf toe. Him being activated in the practice window doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be back within the next 2 weeks. He's been asked by multiple Bengals reporters, or at least one, during a press conference, is Baltimore during Thanksgiving the target date? And it seems like that potentially is the target date for him to come back. I think that's still a little bit of wishful thinking. I'd still think that there's probably going to be, it would probably be the following week against the, what is that? The Bills? Not the Bills. Yeah, against the Bills. That following Sunday, just giving him an extra week and a half, a little Thursday night bye week, mini bye, to just get further healthy. And it's not like the offense has really been suffering without Joe Burrow ever since this Joe Flacco trade occurred. So happy that he's rehabbed and he's getting back on the right track. I know I have a feeling that even though the team may be out of it by the time he is back, not in playoff contention, that we will see him play at least a few games just because he wants to get out there and play. And, if you want, if your $55 million quarterback wants to go out there and play, you let him do it.
See, what was interesting is so for one, this 21-day window, I think it's important for us to at least talk a little bit about, is that if that 21-day window goes through and the Bengals don't activate him, he's automatically on IR for the rest of the year. Like, it's not like they can say, "Oh, let's put him, let's try 5 more days." Like, they have to make that decision when that happens. So that is an important window for when that could happen. But when they asked him, I thought in his press conference, it was really interesting. They said, does the team's record matter in whether you're going to play or not? And honestly, if you would have told me to give Joe Burrow's answer, because usually he is pretty, he'll drop some like coach player speak and so on and do the things, and you can kind of predict what he's going to say. I would have expected him to be like, "No, it doesn't matter. I just want to get out there and play." And he didn't really give that answer at all. He kind of gave we'll have to talk and see what happens when that period comes through. And I at least found that a little bit interesting, because I would have thought he would have been the guy that would have been like, "I don't care if we're 1-15. I'm out there playing."
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, though, answer from him, I thought at least.
Yeah, that wouldn't have really have expected that out of him either. It's kind of just a wait and see game, and hopefully, I would still just love to see Burrow out there and playing, just because we love watching him play. We know how good he is and how sound he is with his mechanics and the way that he just has that magical quality to him that so many others talk about. Just to see that again at least once a season would be nice to see, but we'll wait and see on it.
He's one of, if not the best quarterback in the NFL. Joe Flacco's been great, but there's still been a couple of moments you've seen from Flacco that we've kind of made the point of Burrow makes that play. And that's just showing the difference between Joe Flacco and Joe Burrow. We had this conversation, though, whether it was last night or the night before, and I'm interested to see what happens with this is, okay, let's just say the Monday comes and the Bengals say, "You know what? Joe Burrow is going to play against the Patriots." Again, not going to happen, but just for sake of discussion, let's just say that's what happens. and they activate it. That means that the Bengals are going to have to clear a roster spot. Do you keep 3 quarterbacks and keep Jake Browning? Or do they release Jake Browning in that realm? And I don't know, because, I mean, the 3 quarterback thing is just like, when is that ever really going to help you?
See, this is why I'm a huge proponent of expanding the roster to 54 players if you're keeping a 3rd quarterback on the roster. Because, yeah, it creates headaches just like the one that you're describing right now. Now, with Jake Browning, I do not think is there any dead money to letting that guy go?
So he's an exclusive rights free agent. And, I mean, he's making like $800,000 this year. So I don't know that it entirely matters anyways when it comes to that, with how big the cap is.
He's over the million threshold right now, looks like. He's at 1.03 million. At least that's what the cap savings would be on.
And dead cap is $7,200 is the dead cap. I think the Bengals could afford to lose $7,200 in dead cap. But with that, though, I guess the question that I would have is, would he pass through waivers? And I think the answer would probably be yes.
Yeah, especially just given how he's played this season, I'd have a hard time believing that he wouldn't pass waivers. It's just, it seems like
and then
the
you throw him on the practice squad.
Yeah, you could throw him on the practice squad. I do think that I don't think it's a foregone conclusion he would be the odd man out of the roster anyways, though, just because I think Joe does like having Jake in the quarterback room, diving through film with him, and so forth. So I guess we'll kind of wait and see on that too. But it's definitely an interesting situation. I'm thinking of just like other potential roster cuts. Do you cut PJ Jules and Dax Hill is kind of your backup safety in case of Geno Stone or Jordan Battle goes down in the middle of, in the back half of the season here? Just trying to think of other places that they could just trim the roster. Do you cut Jermaine Burton? Just because what's the point of having him anyways at this point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's the one that at least would make some semblance of sense.
McKinley Jackson is another one.
Yeah, and I think he's at least played this year.
Has he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. McKinley Jackson probably has 75 snaps this year. Maybe not that many, but he at least has some. He's been active. Now, Jermaine Burton, you've had the same amount of snaps he has this year.
Yeah.
And you haven't been late to practice this year at all.
McKinley Jackson has 6 snaps on
6? Really? That many?
Yeah.
That's few? Okay, I would have thought he had more than that.
No, he's 6 snaps.
But he's been active 3 games, I think, this season, off the top of my head, at least.
Yeah.
Okay. The Joe Burrow situation, though. If you're Zach Taylor, if you're Duke Tobin, what are you doing? Does because you are trying to make the decision that benefits the Bengals the most, not only in 2025, but also in 2026. Talk it through. What is your thought process over these next couple of games? And let's just say you're right, and it's the Bills game to when he could come back. Does the record matter for you, or are you playing him no matter what?
I mean, in the sheer sense of business decisions, yeah, the record does matter. The only reason I want Joe Burrow on the field is for purely selfish reasons that I just want to watch Joe Burrow play football. If the team's 3-9 by the time that the Bills game rolls around, and you are definitely not making the playoffs with that record, what's the point of furthering risking Joe Burrow coming back onto the field, and getting suffering another ligament injury or whatever you want to call it? I just don't see a whole lot of sense in doing that, especially when Joe Flacco's played pretty well. I would say that Joe Flacco has been a fan favorite. He's somebody that the fans do like to see play. I think you and I have grown to really like watching Joe Flacco come out.
I'm looking forward to voting him for the Ring of Honor one day.
Honestly, if with the limited sample size of elite play that we've gotten out of Joe Flacco, I'll put him in the Ring of Honor.
Let's do it. Joe Flacco gets in before poor Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
I'll vote for Andy Dalton.
Andy. Yeah, so it's just I don't think I would personally throw him out there if I'm Duke Tobin. If I'm Zach Taylor, I wouldn't do it. But also, if Joe Burrow wants to go out there,
but
let him go out there.
Here's also the thing. You know who doesn't want to go 3-14? Zach Taylor.
No.
So Zach Taylor might be like, yeah, get in there. But it's not like Joe Burrow is the reason unless you're going to throw him back there at safety or something, which he did play in high school.
He played he played safety in high school. That's what he played.
I think so. I think he played.
He might be better than Jordan Battle.
Year. Well, it's hard to be much worse sometimes. He at least is probably faster than Jordan Battle.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into this game on Sunday. Bengals take on the Steelers, 1:00 on CBS. Be nice to have a 1:00 game. Kevin Harlan and Trent Green on the call. Great duo. Gotta love Kevin Harlan. Bill Vinovich is the referee. He's been around a long time.
That crusty old man, Bill Vinovich, is reffing the game.
He is. Bengals 8-10. Steelers 12-6.
Are there any referees that have a winning record? The Bengals have a winning. I feel like every referee that they've played so far, they haven't had a winning record with.
We've talked about a couple of them this year. I feel like some notable Bill Vinovich games. Ravens home game last year. Great game. Didn't go their way.
Didn't end up right.
Vikings home game in 2023. That one was pretty fun. The Jake Browning game. AFC Championship win. The Packers loss in 2021. That was the wild missed field goals game, if you remember that. And then I had to go back to 2005, Mick, for a legendary Bengals game from that era. Bengals-Packers 2005.
Oh, one of my first games. That was my second game I've ever gone to.
AKA the Burger King
King guy. Yep.
Yes.
What a great game. What a great time.
You think about those games, and you got a lot of overtime on there. 3 of the last 4 games Bill Vinovich has ref for the Bengals have gone into overtime.
Including the AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
I said including the AFC Championship.
Exactly. What's up, man? Appreciate you for joining us here, Augie. He says, Houday guy's been a while, but I feel if Joey B ain't ready, no need to rush him back. Joe Sr., I like that. As the offense rolling, for some reason, I'll hold out hope because our offense gives us a puncher's chance versus anyone just need to score 50. Yeah, I don't think he's wrong at all on that. Mm-hmm. The offense does give him a chance. Okay, the injury report. Flacco did not practice today, but did his media. He's fine. Like, it would be one of those things. If he didn't do his media, then we'd be concerned. Trey Hendrickson did not practice. Shamar Stewart did not practice. Samaje Perine did not practice. You're not expecting any of them today. This week, Hendrickson is doubtful. Shamar Stewart is week to week. And Perine is out for a couple of weeks with an ankle injury. The pro to the Perine thing is I'm hoping we get to see a little bit more of what's his name now? And of course, now his name is Taj Brooks. Thank you. I'm just curious. I want to see what we got there in Taj Brooks as maybe a change of pace. I mean, he's had 2 carries this year, if that, 1 carry.
Yeah, he may have had a few during the back half of that Vikings game.
Okay, but still, he's not really had any experience at all. For the Steelers, Darius Slay, Corey Trice Jr., Holcomb, Highsmith, and Broderick Jones all did not practice today. There are a couple other names on their DNP list, like TJ Watt and Cam Hayward didn't practice, but they didn't practice for rest. So I didn't not even worth us mentioning. But those are some big names on that list. Now, Corey Trice Jr. is in his 21-day window coming back from the IR. So whether he gets activated or not, but if he didn't practice today and he's coming back from a 21-day window, I would not expect him to play on Sunday. Not that that's somebody that you're really freaking out about is Corey Trice Jr. But Darius Slay not in there? At least, Corey Trice Jr. is a Kentucky native. He's from Hopkinsville, I believe, down in my neck of the woods. Any injuries that stand out to you on there? Highsmith is a big one.
Yeah, I think Highsmith and kind of Cole Holmcomb here as well, even though he's practicing with the or did not practice with an illness. You'd think he's probably going to be back by Sunday. Patrick Queen's still on the field, so it's not like Holmcomb's getting a ton of snaps either. But Darius Slay is another, is the other big one. We've seen how badly these receivers just destroyed the Steelers secondary in the Thursday night game. Looking forward to seeing Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase matched up against one another again. I wonder if they're going to switch something up in that regard. Are they going to put Joey Porter Jr. on? They don't have a lot of options. That's the problem. They don't have a lot of options for covering Jamar Chase on the field here. It's really Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter Jr., Brandon Eccles. Not gonna do it. Yeah. It's another matchup exploitation that the Bengals have.
I mean, let's go over those stats though from the Thursday night game. Flacco passed for 342 and 3 touchdowns. Chase Brown 11 carries for 108. To me, that's the stat that if I told you that when we had our show before that Thursday night game that Chase Brown rushed 11 times for 108 yards, you'd have called me crazy. Especially leading into that game. You just said there's no chance. Jamar Chase, though, 16 catches for 161 yards and a touchdown that day. And he was targeted, I think, 94 times in that game. He just ate the Steelers' lunch. But to me, the biggest takeaway of that entire game was Flacco was only sacked twice the entire game. You're going to need that again this week.
Yeah, you're going to have to keep Joe Flacco upright. You're going to have to get the ball out quick again. Especially with pass rushers like TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Nick Herbig or Nate Herbig. I can't remember which one it is.
I think it's Nick, isn't it?
Nick Herbig. Alex Highsmith, as Augie mentioned here. What you have is robust of a pass rush unit that the Steelers have. You have to get the ball out quick. The Bengals did that quite a bit during Flacco's second ever game with the team on that Thursday night game a few weeks ago. I expect them to try to do that the same. Try to do the same in this game. The question is, are the Steelers going to have any counters for that? What's your counter to a quick pass game? Press man. I feel like that's press man. They're going to be running a lot of press man against Jamar Chase.
I don't know.
Joe Burrow. That would be a game you want Joe Burrow to be playing.
Joe Burrow would be frothing at the mouth
at a press man game. Yeah, against the Steelers secondary.
Oh, he would. Listen, Joe Burrow might be on the sideline and just be like, just put me in, Zach. Put me in, Zach. Put me in, Zach. I'm fine. I'm good to go against this.
I see press man. I'm a limited participant in practice. Just let me go out there. Cook.
We're good. You mentioned the secondary, though. It's not great. And that's the thing. They've spent so much money on that secondary, and it's just really not worked out. But I mean, the biggest thing too is, and I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago before the game, like Patrick Queen's been bad this year.
He's been really bad. He's been terrible.
And he'd always been a solid guy. And then Peyton Wilson too, their other linebacker, not like he's been great either. This is another one of these games where I really wish you had like a Mike Gesicki, but maybe it's a big Noah Fant game.
Well, it was a Noah Fant game that Thursday night, or at least caught a touchdown in that Thursday night game. Drew Sample game.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I don't think we want to start talking crazy now. You going to bet a Drew Sample anytime touchdown?
Yeah.
He does get one a year.
Didn't Yoshi have a good game against the Steelers? Or am I just
or is that his really bad one?
It was his really bad game, I think. The game against the he didn't do anything against the Steelers. He had a good game against the Lions and then shit the bed against the Packers. And then I don't think he really did anything up until
Yoshi had
Bears game.
Let's see, what is this here? He had 3 catches for 49 yards. He did have that catch up the seam. I'm remembering,
huge catch. Yeah, the fourth quarter drive, comeback drive, right?
Yes, to when they had double coverage on T and Jamar. And it was funny, Joe Flacco today in his press conference, he went on for a little bit. He's like, he says, the interesting thing about playing quarterback right now is that, you'd think that I've seen every coverage, but I'm actually seeing a lot of new coverages here because I've never had opportunities where both my wide receivers are double teamed. He's like, I don't really, I'm learning kind of what to do there. And it was kind of thinking, well, yeah, he's never had an elite wide receiver, let alone two of them at the same time.
Yeah. So really opens up opportunities again for Andre Yoshavash, Noah Fant, Chase Brown. Still going to open up opportunities for Jamar Chase. It doesn't matter if you double him or if you triple him. That dude's getting open. Or, if you're accurate and get the ball to him, even in tight windows, he's going to catch it and, make plays out of it, right? So I think, again, just the quick pass game. Hopefully the run game is back to form. It wasn't great against the Bears a couple of weeks ago. If we can get it back to what it was looking like against the Steelers in the Thursday night game and against the Jets the following week, I mean, I like the offense's chances of putting a lot of points on the board. But that's not the huge question mark of the game, is it?
And that leads us right into it. You think about the defense against the Steelers that day. They intercept Rodgers twice and almost blew it. Because to me, as much as we talked about, limiting sacks on the other side and how Noah Fant could have a big game, Freiermuth is, to me, that is going to be like, it'd be one of those things that if you told me I couldn't look at the final score of a game and I could only look at the box score and maybe like touchdowns were wiped off, so I'd have no way of knowing what the actual score of the game was. The way I would look to see who won was how many times Joe Flacco was sacked and how many catches Pat Freiermuth had, because he had a big game. He had 5 for 111 and 2 touchdowns. But really, Bengals did a pretty decent job on DK in that game.
Yeah, I think DJ Turner matched up against DK Metcalf pretty well in that game.
You even mentioned that worried you.
Yeah, it did. Just because, DK is just an extremely physical, talented, athletic wide receiver, and DJ Turner's athletic, but he hasn't necessarily been the most physical cornerback that we've watched play. Now, he's done a great job at, of developing. He's developed really well, and he's, put himself in positions to make plays on the ball. He's still wickedly fast, one of the fastest corners in the league. So yeah, that's a matchup I feel fairly comfortable about. But yeah, how are they going to handle Pat Freiermuth? How's this pass rush going to get home in this game? Like, that's really the huge question here. It's like, where can you find a spark in the pass rush? You're just not seeing a lot of wins,
and that's the thing too, team. Is you are like, it's not like you're facing Lamar Jackson back. You're not facing Caleb Williams back there, who's a good athlete. You're not facing Justin Fields, who's a good athlete. You're facing Aaron Rodgers, who looks like me and you back there moving.
Yeah, you are. And I guess you wonder, like, I think that Al's kind of dialed up blitz packages against Justin Fields and Caleb Williams just to get some pressure. Problem is, those guys are athletic enough to nullify those pass rush or, those blitz attempts, especially if you're not being uber creative on where your blitzers are coming from. With Aaron Rodgers, if you start sending them, I get Aaron Rodgers is a pretty cerebral quarterback, and usually can find the hole in the zone or whatever in the coverage because of the blitz package and bringing an extra defender off of the secondary or off of the coverage unit onto the pass rush unit. But is he just unathletic enough for it to actually work if you start sending blitzers on him?
You know what I really want? If this game goes into overtime, let's not play overtime. Let's just have Joe Flacco versus Aaron Rodgers 100-yard dash. Winner wins the game. I don't know who I'd take. Maybe Flacco?
I'd take Flacco just because he's ran the ball okay.
And he's got longer legs.
He does.
That would just be hilarious to watch. Is there any hope for this defense? Like Augie says, though, here, and it's what we've talked about so many times. They don't need to be good. They really, let's be honest, they don't even need to be average. No. They just need to be like a little bit below average, and they win a bunch of these games.
Yeah, they really just need to not be trash. Like, they really, it's just...
Because they've been awful.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, really, you just got to find a way to make a couple stops, whether it's a couple of interceptions here and here, like like you had against them a few weeks ago. You just got to find a way to, in the words of Zach Taylor, you got to find a way to make a play. But in real talk here, I'm expecting hopefully Al Golden dials up some blitz packages. He only blitzed Aaron Rodgers 4 times in the Thursday night game. And obviously that didn't work out. So you got to find a different way to go against this offensive unit, which is fairly beatable. It's not like they have a robust skill position unit. They don't have a great offensive line. They're the definition of a mid to not great NFL offense. So you got to find a way to figure it out.
This isn't the Bears offense, who has a bunch of weapons.
No. And it's not the Jets offense where you have, even though Justin Fields has plenty of faults as an NFL quarterback, is still a fairly athletic quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You have Aaron Rodgers. You have Aaron Rodgers' old, 40-year-old geriatric, decrepit behind out there. Find a way to get some pressure on.
You really just use behind?
Behind ass.
I was gonna say, when have you ever shied away from dropping?
I don't know. Trying to turn a new leaf. You already ruined that for me.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't even lie to us. Okay. Anything else you want to say about this game, or should we just go ahead and jump into some picks here?
Man, I really just hope the linebackers get their shit together. I really hope that Barrett.
You lasted so long.
Yeah, I did.
So
I really just hope
the linebackers do that to you, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, really, the only words that Al Golden should be telling Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight are "Get your shit together, please,
please,
yes. Get your shit together,
please." Because
same with Jordan Battle and Geno Stone at various points.
And who else on the team?
Really, just the middle of the field. Really,
yes.
just the middle of the field right now, including TJ Slayton too.
Like I've seen some complaints about the corners, and I don't know how big of a problem the corners have necessarily been this year.
No, they haven't. The outsides have been fine, but the outsides, I guess not really an edge rusher. Your edge rushers have been pretty bad, not great. But the corners have been fine. Yeah, they've been all right. CTB has been up and down all year, as we kind of expected him to be.
He's been doing the CTB special. Augie says Bengals 45, Steelers 42. Lisa says Bengals 41-27. Mick, what say you? Bengals, Steelers, 1 o'clock on CBS. And Kevin Harlan and Trent Green on the call. What you got?
Steelers 34, Bengals 27.
Oh,
not doing it.
Well, you know me. I refuse. You could tell me that the Bengals were starting Riley James at quarterback, and I'd still pick them to win against the Steelers because I can't pick them.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And Riley James at quarterback, if you know him, that would not end up well. Not end up well at all. We think Aaron Rodgers is unathletic? Oh, boy.
Riley might be so big that he might, even though he's like trailing 15 yards behind a receiver, that the quarterback still can't find him. Why don't we just put TJ Slayton in coverage and see what happens?
God. Oh, we're putting Riley in coverage?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, God. Yeah, let's see him go up against DK Metcalf. That'll end up okay. I think. I'll say Bengals win 37-33. Kind of a weird score. 37-33. And I think we see a good game from Joe Flacco. And I'm going to say somebody makes the interception late. That is a big one. The defense finally makes a play when we need them to make a play. And I'm not going to mention a name because then that'll guarantee that person has the worst game ever. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I'm going to say the Bengals win this game, and we're going to go for it because I can't pick that team. Can't pick them. Can't do it. If you're making the trip to Pittsburgh, enjoy it. It'll be a little warmer than it was the last time the Bengals were there. Remember that the final game last year? It was really cold.
I don't.
Oh, it was freezing. You remember the Saturday night game? It was. I just remember it being. They make the comments on how cold it was there. Not that we went. That was the game that I watched at 12:30 in the morning because I had a basketball game all day and didn't get to watch it until later. Luckily, I can watch this one on time this week. Look forward to it, though. If you're going to make the trip, be safe. And looking forward to being back next week at home, watching some Bengals Patriots.
Yeah, if you are a Bengals fan going to whatever the hell that place is called, Acrisure Stadium, do not pour any beer on Steelers fans.
Yes, because we don't do that, unlike some fan bases do.
Wink, wink. Don't do it. Wink, wink.
I still can't believe that happened. That we had beer poured on us.
We did.
And we're not like
Wink,
we
wink.
were even.
Don't do it.
We weren't even talking crap. That's the part that drives me the craziest. Like we weren't doing anything to those guys. I don't know. Mick, appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Remember to follow us on social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, favorite podcasting platform. Any parting thoughts?
No, go get them. Go get them, Bengals fans. And who dey?
Augie's saying dump that beer on him. Dump that beer on him. For one, I don't know what a beer is at Acrisure, but I'm assuming it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
Pittsburgh, you'd be surprised. Pittsburgh's actually a surprisingly cheap city.
The beer in the stadium, though, is probably still at least $10. Mick, I work in radio. I can't afford that. We'll see you next week. Who dey?
Yep, who dey? Thanks for watching.